book I read was called The Basketball Diaries by Jim Carroll, and it was published in 1978. Jim Carroll was born in New York City on August 1st, 1951. He was growing up in Manhattan. He pursued careers as a basketball player and a writer. Due to Carroll's massive drug use as a teenager, any hopes of becoming a basketball star were diminished. However, the poetry he wrote about these drug experiences led him on the road to literary fame. In the ages of 12 to 15, Carroll is a very rebellious teenager. One of the reasons why this book is so special is because it is supposedly made up of real diary entries from his youth. This is so special because the reader is allowed a first-hand look at what Carroll experienced and how he felt about it. The first entry of the Basketball Diaries, in fall of 1963, Carroll, then 13 years old, uses a fake birth certificate given to him by his coach Lefty to get into a 12 and under basketball league. In the same entry, Carroll describes how him and his friends enjoyed playing basketball, hustling, stealing, and getting high off of fluid and cough syrup. Relatively mild addictions soon transform into bigger, more dangerous addictions, including marijuana, up and down pills, ecstasy, and his main addiction, heroin. The reason why I especially like the Basketball Diaries is because it allowed me to see a personal experience on not only the effects of heroin addiction, but also the reasons for it. The Basketball Diaries relates to drinking a love story by Carroll and Knapp in many different ways. Carroll and Knapp have addictions. In the beginning, neither of them believe they have a problem. Drugs are very common where Carroll lives, and alcohol has always been a part of Knapp's life. Because they have grown up around the substances that they abuse, in the beginning, it's very hard for them to imagine living without using them. Another similarity between the two is that both of their addictions control their lives. Caroline is forced to hide her addiction from her family and drink in secret, while Jim is so addicted to heroin that he can't concentrate on basketball. However, their addictions are also very different. For a long time, Carroll was unaware that he can even be addicted to heroin. Although she did not change her alcohol consumption, Knapp realized her addiction a lot sooner than Carroll did. Another difference is that Carroll's parents did not even realize he had an addiction until he was sent to Rikers Island Juvenile Reformatory for heroin possession. While neither took action to help her, both Knapp's mother and sister commented on Knapp's excessive drinking. This relates to my APA paper because I wrote about heroin. The DEA labels heroin as a Schedule I drug. This means that it has absolutely no medical uses and has a high potential for addiction. The danger of the drug is clearly outlined through Carroll's novel. Throughout the novel, he learns that many of the kids he grew up with have either died or ended up in jail due to heroin. In order to fund his addiction, he has to start doing things he never thought he would, including male prostitution. The reason why I like the Basketball Diaries is because in the story, Jim Carroll doesn't sugarcoat anything. As a 12 to 15-year-old growing up in Manhattan, in his diary entries, he uses the same exact language he would use talking to any of his friends or talking to any of his drug dealers. So because of this, you really get a good impression of what his life must have been like. It also allows you to see the lack of education kids receive in this setting about the dangers of drugs and drug addictions, as well as the lack of enforcement of no drug policies by parents and other adults. One of the reasons why I enjoyed Jim Carroll's The Basketball Diaries more than Caroline Knapp's Drinking a Love Story is because The Basketball Diaries went in chronological order and is a lot easier to follow. The Basketball Diaries is an interesting, quick read, and I suggest all of you read it.